Alright, so today we're going to be talking about tape diagrams and double number lines. So the first thing we're going to talk about is tape diagrams. A tape diagram is a drawing that looks like a segment of tape used to illustrate relationships. And it's best used when the two quantities have the same units. So tape diagrams is when the quantities are the same units. It helps highlight the multiplicative relationship, there's that word again, multiplicative, between the quantities. So for example, let's look at this one example here. The tape diagram is used to show the ratio for 3 parts yellow to 2 parts of blue paint. If there are 45 cups of yellow paint, how much blue paint is there? Okay, so we notice that for every 3 yellow, we have 2 blue. So let's start answering the questions. What is the total number of parts represented? Well, if you take a look, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 total parts. How do you find out how much each part represents? Okay, so what you want to do is, since you know that if there are 45 cups of yellow paint, so this is yellow paint, 45 yellow, how much are blue? Okay, so let's think. If I have a total of 45 yellow paint, I need to know, well, how much does each part represent? So all we really have to do is to do 45 total divided by 3 equal parts. So divide by 3 will give me 15 for each part, or 15 parts. Okay, so this is 15, this is 15, and this is 15. So we have 15 parts, each part is 15, and so how to find the amount of blue, all we have to do is say, well, since these 3 yellows are 15, these are equal, 15, 15, 15, so we're going to do, this is 15, and this is 15. Well, that's 2 times 15, which is going to be 30. Okay, and all we need to know is that each part is 15, and how many parts do we have? So we just multiplied. 15 times 2 gives me 30 parts that are blue. Okay, all right, so let's take a look at the slimy, goopy mixture down here. Okay, so slimy goopy mixture is made by mixing glue and liquid laundry starch in a ratio of 3 to 2. So just like I'm gonna represent it as my tape diagram. So I got 3 parts of glue and then I have 2 starch. So example, that's my ratio. For 3 glue, I have 2 starch. So how much glue and how much starch is needed to make 85 cups of the slimy goopy mixture? Okay. So again, to make the mixture, you got to do the glue and the starch together. So how many total parts there? We're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 parts. Okay. And then together, the glue and the starch mixture is equal to 85 cups. How much does each part represent? Okay. So it's a 3 to 2 ratio. It's 5 parts total. Okay. And we want to know how much glue and how much starch you need to make 85 cups total. Okay? So this time we have the total number of cups we're going to have for the mixture. So if I took 85, the glue and the starch is going to be 85 total together. So what am I going to do is, I need to figure out, since this is the total, I'm going to get the total number of parts. Well, the total number of parts is 5. So to figure out each part, I would do 85 divided by 5. Well, what's 85 divided by 5 parts? That's going to be 17 cups total. Okay? So 17 cups. So that means this part is 17, this part is 17, this part is 17, this part is 17, and this part is 17. So the only difference between the first example here and this example is that I'm given the total. So that means I got to look at all of the parts together. So all I did was 85 divided by 5 parts all together. So if I divide by 5 is 17. So each one is 17. And so I want to know how many glue and how many starch each. So since there's 3 parts glue, I'm going to do 17 times 3. Okay? And since there's 2 parts starch, I'm going to do 17 times 2. Okay? And then what am I going to do is I'm going to say, well, 17 times 3, what's 17 times 3? 17 times 3 is going to be 51 glue. So I got 51 cups of glue. And then all I got to do is 17 times 2, which is 34 cups of starch. Okay? So that's what we just did. We found out that we had the total, and I had to divide by how many total parts. And I got each part, and I took each part and multiplied by how many squares I had. So I have 3 squares blue, so I multiplied 3 times 17. I got 2 squares in starch, so I multiplied 2 times 17. So the question is, how much starch is in 85 cups of mixture? We just figured that out. That's 17 times 2, which is 34. 34 cups. And because that was 17 times 2. Okay? All right, so I challenge you, based on these 2 examples that we already did, okay, I challenge you to try this last example on your own. And you're talking about dentists that recommend the new zigzag toothbrush out of the number of dentists that don't. Ratio of 5 to 3. Okay? So you're given the total number of dentists. So remember, this example is like the one we did before. You're given the total. You need to figure out how many are in each part. And then find out how many do and how many don't. So do this on your own. See if you can do this on your own. So pause the video and do this part. And then I'm going to jump to the double number lines. Okay? So again, this was tape diagrams. Okay? All right, so let's take a look at the other side of the paper, which is going to be your double number lines. Okay, which is right here. And double number lines is used if you have different units. Okay? All right? So it's going to be used if you have different units. So a double number line compares 2 quantities that have a multiplicative ratio. Best used when the 2 quantities have different units. Okay? Different. Okay? They're different. And then helps make visible that there are multiple parts in the same ratio. Okay? Let's take a look at this example. All right. So it says, when making cookies, you use 4 cups of sugar and 6 eggs. If you had 12 cups of sugar, how many eggs would you need? Well, the first thing I'm going to do is, looking at my double number line, I'm going to label what's what. So I got sugar, and I have eggs. Okay? And so I know that for 0 sugar, I have 0 eggs. So I'm going to start labeling my line. Okay? So the ratio I start with is 4 to 6. So I have 4 to 6. 4 sugar, 6 eggs. Okay? Well, then you can continue the line. So it's every 4 sugar. So that would be 8. 8 sugar. How many eggs? You would have 12. Okay? And then I can continue. That would be 12 and then 18. And I can keep on going on and on. So it says, if you had 12 cups of sugar, how many eggs would you need? So here we go. 12, and here we go. There's 18 right there. So if I have 12 sugar, I need 18 eggs. So you would write, okay, 18 eggs for 12 cups of sugar. Okay? So you can do it that way, or you notice that there's a relationship. How do I get from 4 to 12? Well, I multiply by 3. Same thing, 6 to 18, I multiply by 3. So it's the same relationship. You're multiplying by the same number, okay? How do I get from 4 to 8? I'm multiplying by 2. How do you get from 6 to 12? Multiply by 2. And I can continue this, so I can find out, this is going up by 4s. I can find out 16. What would that be? This would be 24. Okay? This would be 20. This would be, I'm going up by 6s. By 6. B times 6. B 30. Okay? So remember, the double number line compares two different units. Okay, let's take a look at Mr. Green's class here. Okay, Mr. Green's class, there are 5 boys for every 2 girls. Okay? If there are 28 students total, okay, how many boys does he have and how many girls does he have? Okay, now, first of all, I'm going to label, this is my boys and my girls. Okay, boys and girls. Okay, we're given a ratio. Well, obviously, 0 boys give me 0 girls. Here's the first ratio. Boys to girls. So you want to write 5 to 2. Okay? And then we can continue. Well, for every 5 boys, I have 2 girls. So I'm going to 10 and 4, right? And then I continue it. 5 and 6. Okay? Or 15 and 6. 20 and 8, okay? 25 and 10. Okay. Obviously, if you look at this ratio, 5 to 2, well, think about it. How many total kids do you have? 7. I just add 5 plus 2, okay? If I add 10 and 4, I get 14 total. 15 and 6, I get 21. 20 and 28, I get 28, and 25 and 10, I get 35, okay? So think about boys and girls together will give me a total. So it's asking me if there are 28 students total, how many boys and how many girls? Well, take a look at my number line. Which line gives me a 28 total? This one right here. This gives me a total of 28. So I can look at my line and say, because this is 20 and 8, this is 28 total, I have, look at 20 boys, 8 girls. So we have 20 boys and 8 girls. Okay? All right, so here's your task. Okay, so we already did 2 examples together in this video. What I want you to try is I want you to try these bottom 2 right here. Okay, so you're talking about photocopier can print 12 copies in 48 seconds. How many copies can you do in 1 minute? Okay, so remember, this is seconds and this is 1 minute. Remember, 1 minute means 60 seconds. So you might want to convert that to 60 seconds, okay? And then this one is Sophia's selling boxes of Girl Scout cookies. For every 12 boxes she sells, she raises 15 for charity. Okay, she wants to know how many... if she wants a goal of $60, how many boxes does she need to sell? Okay, again, you're labeling your number line and you're filling in the you're going to continue your number line and then figure out from your number line what your question is answering or asking. Okay, all right, so that was double number lines.